Craft brews and casual conversations. My name is Cletus. I am back. I have visited before, and I seem to have stumbled across the path of dudes with brews on the porch once again. I was on the way to the honky tonk because that's what we do. I got many a miles in on my John Deere tractor today. Went on some adventures, and you know what? I even ran into my sister cousin. Yes, right. You know what happens when we encounter each other. Crazy things. Stewed with Rose.
Cue it.
Yeah!
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
Robert, he is in the studio, but not in my physical presence, unfortunately, as much as I would like that. Coming in via cellular device, here he is, broadcasting live from Burbank, California.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you?
I don't know what to say to that. This phone thing is not cool.
It's all right. The phones were built for communication, and we're working with what we got. Technology sometimes just is not on our sides. Okay, let's dive into what we're drinking, dude. Shall we? It's good to see you. We haven't talked in about 2 weeks. I kind of ghosted you.
2 weeks, yeah.
Kind of ghosted you last weekend. That's my bad. It was
I will say I was a little bit. I was talking to some people. I said I found out. They said, "Don't you have to do the podcast tonight?" And I said, "Well, I found out that I don't have to do the podcast because Drew released a podcast."
You knew
without me.
You knew that one.
I knew you did it. I didn't know that we were.
Oh yeah.
Just gonna release it last week.
I recorded it the same day I recorded with you last time. So
yes,
I didn't record it all last week with anybody. So that's my bad. I had.
I know. It doesn't bother me. I was happy to have the time off.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was going to, but then Jonah was sick, and then Ashton was sick the next day, and then Madison got sick the day after that. So it was a world of sickness in my house, and I was just like, all right, I'm just tapped out at this point. So sorry, my apologies for that. But so let's get to the business here. I am drinking the Waldos Special Ale from Lagunitas Brewing Company, which takes place in, I believe, in Colorado, as well as they have a brewery and distribution center in Chicago. I've been there. It is a special triple IPA, Rob. A limited series, limited release, highly limited release, I should say, for 2023. It is 11.7 ABV, 100 on the IBUs, Rob. 100 on the IBUs. So in 1970,
have we hit 100 yet?
I think so. I think we've actually gotten above it, but not recently. In 1971, the Waldos met one afternoon at 4:20 in the front courtyard of their school near the statue of Louis Pasteur. I don't know who the fuck that is. They set out in a 66 Impala, armed with a treasure map, on a journey to find a secret garden near Point Reyes. They met there at the same time every day and continued their quest. They never found the secret garden, but they kept looking. The dankest and hoppiest beer ever brewed at Lagunitas was made with the help of the Waldos for all treasure hunters. Gosh darn it, baby. That's what it is. It is your triple IPA. It is not a hazy IPA. So it does have that, your golden crispness color. It's just, it was a hot day out. I worked hard. I deserve this. It smells great, dude. I wish you could just get nose deep in this bitch and give it a whiff,
I might be able to get that one out here, actually.
It's good. Very bitter, very hoppy, very, very IPA-y, and I'm about it.
Yeah. I almost did a triple hazy today, actually.
Yeah, you're.
But instead, I went with so courtesy of my friend Angela. She brought me, and I'm only gonna try this because it goes bad apparently, and she brought it to me for last week's show.
Oh, you're really gonna make me feel bad about this, aren't you?
It's not to make you feel bad. It's just to tell you what's up. It's just if you want to feel bad, that's you. That's on you. That's okay.
Okay.
You can sit in it for a little while. It's all right.
You could have called me.
If this beer kills me when I take a sip of it, then I expect you to feel bad for the rest of your life.
Okay, I will.
And this is the Heady Topper from Alchemist, Vermont. The Alchemist in Vermont.
The Alchemist. Yeah, it's from. Oh, this is crazy. This is also 100 IBUs. It is. I don't know where it's from. Vermont. Yes, still Vermont.
I just know it says Heady Topper is an American double India Pale Ale. This beer is not intended to be the biggest or most bitter. It is meant to give you wave after wave of hoppy goodness on your palate. Tremendous amounts of American hops will creep up on you and leave you with a dense hoppy finish in your mouth. So drinkable, it's scary. Sometimes I wish I could crawl right into the can. Now there's a whole bunch more, but the big thing is it says drink it from the can. It's unfiltered and unpasteurized. It is literally plastered all over this thing. Drink from the can with exclamation points. So I'm just gonna try this and see.
8% ABV,
right.
100 on the IBUs. We're in the 100 club right now.
We're in the 100 club.
Yeah, dog. I'm sorry I didn't call you last week, man. It was just, it just wasn't.
Oh, dude, don't make it real. None of these people want to hear you apologize and me go, it's okay. I actually had all this stuff to do. No, they want to hear me go, fuck you for not calling me, and you go, God, I want to kill myself now.
Yeah. How is it? Back in character.
I mean, it smells good.
Back in character.
I don't know what it smells like off the top. It's weird to drink from a can, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
Oh, my bad.
Either that or it wasn't good to begin with. It's one or the other.
Let's go with the latter. It wasn't good to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. It might be too hoppy for me. Or whatever it is.
So do you want to call in a mulligan?
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull the mulligan, and I'm gonna go. We're gonna switch tabs and go with the Showroom Ready Hazy IPA.
Okay.
From Trustworthy Brewing Company. It's a hazy India Pale Ale, 7.4% alcohol per volume.
Alcohol, yeah.
I don't know what the did you get it? Did you get an IBUs on that?
0.
I love it. See, now we're into my category, my territory. We're gonna run the gamut from 0 to 100.
There you go.
And this is a good looking hazy.
It says
you can't.
It says it's got common and green bullets. They switched up the yeast on this batch and got really got that signature juicy hazy IPA character. The aroma of pineapples and papaya with a subtle honey note on the finish. During your first sip, you'll encounter bright flavors of pineapple and papaya, a fluffy mouthfeel, and a juicy finish. Is that what you're getting?
I was waiting for you to. I got transfixed in your voice and forgot to drink.
No, thank you.
And smell.
This is from Burbank, California, your neck of the woods.
Yeah, so this is from a guy named Michael, another friend of mine, brought me this, and I'm not going to say his last name. He's a private person.
Yeah.
If you know him, you know who I'm talking about just based on that.
So
the smell on this is really amazing because it's. And it was better when I first poured it.
Yeah.
It's been sitting for a second while we waited for my computer to not work.
That's all right.
But man, this is really good.
Good. Yeah, it looks good too. All right, man. So
that pineapple is perfectly balanced in there throughout. It's good.
yeah. So normally we have nothing to talk about, right? Every once in a while something happens and we can bring it to the forefront of the conversation. And that happened to me last night, Rob. And we'll see where this takes us, but we might dissect it a little further with our friend Todd in a later episode, which we might record this week. Okay. I'll keep you in the loop this time about that. So had a dream last night, and I'm not really one to like think of dreams having any sort of meaning. Okay. But in my dream, we were in like a public space, bar, restaurant, not really sure. And it was, I only remember a little bit of it. And my dad was in my dream. Okay. He wasn't wearing any oxygen masks, didn't have any oxygen tanks, looked good. I remember he was in the dream, he was like complaining about something, but then we were kind of just like laughing about it a little bit. And then it got to a part where, I have had lucid dreams in my life. I've been aware that I am dreaming while in a dream, right? That kind of happened here. And I said, because my dad was in there, I said, hey, have you ever had time to visit Jonah yet? And he says, sometimes. And that's what I remember. And then, so I'm thinking about that. I kind of woke up and I was kind of like thrown off a little bit by it, because I was just like, it's just something along the lines of, do you get the chance to visit Jonah at all? And he said sometimes. And then whatever, I'm on my run, and then I think of Todd, because Todd is a spiritual paranormal dude. I message him and he's like what was the date that your dad passed away? And I was like, January 7th. And he's like, and today is May 7th, 4 months after the fact of his passing. And he's it's something that he probably can talk a little bit more about, and he'll do it on the show if we can align it. And he's like, yeah, that usually around like the 3 to 4 month, it kind of, that stuff like that happens. And I was interested on your take on it, because I'm not a religious guy. I'm not, I don't know. It was just weird, because I was at one point in the dream, I was aware I was dreaming, and I asked that question. And then just like the fact that he goes, sometimes, because you would think we're in a public place in the dream, the kids would be with me, but they weren't. And it's like, yeah, I was like, so, I thought it was kind of wild.
I mean, and Todd is the guy that talks about this. He's the Dudes with Brews resident paranormal expert.
Right.
But I mean, I believe in cycles, so that's interesting to me that there's even something on the book somewhere that says that there's a 4 month interval 3 to 4 month quarterly, whatever.
Yeah.
Interval that things can happen like that. That's interesting to me. Yeah. I've never had an experience like that where normally if I have dreams with people loved ones or whatever that are gone, when they show up, it seems random. I don't remember the days that people passed or the last time I even saw them. So I have no frame of reference for when they show up in dreams or whatever. It's only happened a few times, maybe once with each person that, so.
Well, it was.
Can we take a millisecond here?
Yeah.
Because I think my computer might be working. So.
Oh, okay. You give it a.
Do you want to risk it, or what do you want to do?
Well, you can join it, and then I can mute you and do the other one. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm joining.
Are you gonna join you? I'm gonna join. You ready? I don't. All right. Here you are. Here. Oh shit! It went away.
Wait.
It's gone.
Okay. All right.
But so like I didn't make the connection of the date until Todd asked me about it. Like I just wasn't aware. I don't really pay attention to what date it is. Just Sunday. And then it's just, I don't know. It seems too strange to be coincidental. Don't you think?
I mean,
I wasn't.
Yeah. That's one of those weird things that I don't know how to perceive that.
Yeah.
Because that's where you get it. You want, like, if you really want to break it down, it's hard for me to talk about it with you, who's just gone through had that dream. But because to me, it's like, I feel like our brains are working on it's their own clocks, their own cycles, their own this. So whether, it's like whether or not it happened that way, or whether or not it was it was
just an unconscious thought. Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about it. About the dream stuff. The interesting thing to me also is the answer. Sometimes, if you were in control of the answer to that question, have you had a chance to see Jonah? I would think that if you were the person in control of the dream, you would have the other person say yes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you were coming up with that dream out of your subconscious, you would get the answer you want to hear, which is yes all the time. I'm always watching over him or whatever.
Right.
But the more real answer for an entity or an entity, fuck that. Sorry, that's the wrong
energy or something. Yeah,
an energy from somebody in your family that's passed on. Like, they have multiple people to go and see. So yeah, right. The real answer they would give would be sometimes. I've gotten here sometimes.
Yeah, and I can't remember. I mean, Jonah wakes up every night, for some reason. But I think like shortly after that answer, Jonah like woke up and was, a little whiny. But granted, he does that all the time, every night. So I don't know. And then Ashton too woke up last night and said, he asked me for noise canceling headphones because the hedgehog in his room was too loud. But it could have been something else. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it.
Now that's interesting. Let's talk about this hedgehog.
Makes a lot of noise. Hedgehogs are nocturnal. They bury.
You really, literally, quite literally have a hedgehog in his room?
Yeah.
You're a weirdo, man.
I have a pet hedgehog. Her name's Patty. Fat Pat. She's awesome. Fat Pat is the greatest pet I've ever had. She's very cute. Wow. She's very cute.
Okay. I'm not okay with this. She gives
me little sniffs, and then I scoop her up, and then she loves me, and she's great. And I can just look at her, and I can pet her a little bit, and then she gives me licks, and then I can put her down, and then I can change the bedding, whatever, and then I put it back in and give her her little cat food and the mealworms, and then she buries it in her little thing, because that's what hedgehogs do. They bury the food, and then the water bottle that she licks out of is loud as shit. That is true. But yeah, I have a pet hedgehog, Fat Pat. She's great.
All right, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you made eye contact with Phil?
Every day.
Good. Don't forget about that, man.
It's hard to forget about that dog. His presence is always forced upon me. But yes.
Yeah, that's because you don't give. That's because you're not voluntarily giving him love. He has to fight for it with a hedgehog named Fat Pat.
Fat Pat.
That's a hard. You named him Phil, and you named your hedgehog Fat Pat. I mean,
well, Patty's her name, but she is fat, so she's Fat Pat.
Okay.
And
she could be a dude. We know anything about Pats?
Yeah, yeah. And then SNL thing.
Yeah, dumb SNL's
it's
reference.
Pat.
Sorry,
that was a movie. They made that into a movie.
It's Pat or something.
Yeah,
right?
It's Pat. It was who's that? It's Pat. That's like was the little
yeah. And honestly, in 2025, the sequel comes out. Pat's Back, and it's supposed to be really good.
Is that true?
No,
okay.
Not even a little bit.
Good.
Speaking of movies, though, speaking of old dumb stuff in movies, we've sat down, me, my older brother who's in town right now, and Jack the Cool Guy, who we've talked about. We sat down and we watched the first hour, the first installment of the Langoliers movie, straight to TV, 1995 smash hit. That's I think verbatim quote from Wikipedia, the most unmemorable of Stephen King movies, The Langoliers. And I got to tell you, this thing did not disappoint.
Good.
Now I was very tired that day. I will go back and rewatch because we had a long day that day of climbing and just brotherly mischief. I was wearing my contacts. They were a little dry by 12 hours. I got contacts.
Oh my God! So look at you, man. You're the evolution of Burbank Bob. It doesn't stop. It doesn't end. It's been over a year now, right? Since you've pretty close to a year.
Over a year. We're over a year.
Over a year, and the evolution doesn't stop. When you thought you couldn't get any more sexy, you take those fucking spectacles off your face and you put in some old contact lenses. Wow. Take your glasses off for a second. Let me see what you look like. Let me just dang. You kind of look you got some dreamy eyes, dude. You've been covering.
I know. I've been told. I've been told.
More people say you look sophisticated with glasses. I say without the glasses, you look pretty sophisticated.
I saw a picture of me without the glasses at the Neva de Nova show that we went to recently, me and my brother, and I was like, this guy, I don't like this guy. That guy's murderable. No glasses, Rob?
Murderable. Yeah, that's right.
Murderable.
All right.
But yeah, so either way, this movie, star-studded cast for TV actors back in the 90s. And I got to tell you, everything I thought about it, I feel like I nailed it pretty well on the head with my memory.
Yeah.
My computer is still trying to join this session.
We'll see how it goes.
It's ridiculous. Except for the one thing is like the scientist philosopher guy. That's what I thought that like this main character that kind of starts to suss out what's going. Oh, the matches don't work in the tarmac, but they work on the plane. What's up with that, Jack? He's actually a mystery writer, and so he sees all the angles of a mystery because he's a writer, and he can jump to conclusions very, very quickly that most people I think he bypasses some logic sometimes, but he always seems to be on the he's hitting the right nail on the head. He might not be driving it in too deep every time, but he's getting there. It's and some of these shots and the acting in this thing, people need to watch this movie. You need to watch it. Go watch the first hour. We're gonna watch the second installment on Monday night before Michael leaves.
Yeah.
But this is the first. This is going to be a 3-part reoccurring series called Langoliers Update.
Yeah, remembering the Langoliers.
It's not the What I don't even know what you said. It's the Langoliers.
Langoliers.
Yeah, Langoliers.
Langoliers.
Oh, get out of here with this. This is not a desert basketball team.
Yeah. Speaking of basketball teams, what the fuck happened to the Bucks, dude?
I don't know, but I'm not happy that we fired Coach Bud.
No? Yeah, he got a championship 2 years ago. He has to have some idea of what he's doing, but yeah, they fired him.
And his like brother died or something the day before Game 4. Like,
oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's sad.
The infamous game where he messed up he made a couple coaching mistakes, but our team was better than that. We shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Yeah, but maybe they're like, we don't want a Mike McCarthy situation where we just hang on for too long. No, we didn't get a championship when we should have. He's gone. He's out of here. Moving on.
Well, we also apparently the Bucks got sold to the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals or Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns, not the whole team, right? He's a part owner now, or is he the sole owner?
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like him. I don't like Cleveland coming into our house, coming into our town.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers is part owner of the Bucs.
I'm not trying to start a war between Fond du Lac and Cleveland or Milwaukee and Cleveland. I guess it would be, but I'm saying get that guy out of there. That's what I say.
What about
bring Bud back? I really think this destroys the franchise.
Yeah.
This move with Coach Bud.
We'll see.
You fire him, and that shows the players that how they stand and how this team is, and I think we lose Middleton after. I don't think we're going to re-up on his contract, his super contract, or whatever they call it. Middleton goes. I think Giannis has already talked about wanting to move on to another place at some point in his career. Without Bud there, I feel like he very well could do that as soon as possible.
Giannis always says he wants to stay.
No, he said like a year ago, man, he would like to play for the Chicago Bulls at some point.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
We'll see.
He wants to find new challenges, so he doesn't want to become complacent or whatever. I think he'd like to win Milwaukee another championship first, but you take away his coach that he likes. If he, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the Bucs. It alienates everybody else because nobody in Wisconsin listens to our show. So.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you're a family or friends and you happen to listen to this one episode, that's a dig at you.
Well, something else that happened the other day with your brother Trevor, who has been on the podcast.
Are we allowed to talk about this? Is everybody told and all that jazz?
The people that are in it are all know, yes.
Okay, then that's all that matters.
Well, so the other day, I get a call from your brother Trevor, who I've known all your brothers for a very long time. I'm very close with your entire family, and but asked me to go to lunch, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go grab some lunch. And then right before I leave, Carissa goes, "You think he's gonna ask you to be in his wedding?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so, because he's got 4 brothers, and then."
But we're unreliable, so.
No. He's got 4 brothers. He's got also he's got a lot of friends. Like he's a popular guy, and he's got like a lot of close friends. I was like, no, I think we're just grabbing lunch or whatever. So then get to lunch. A couple other people show up, and then he goes, "I got a question to ask all of you." He's like, "Will you guys be stand up in my wedding?" And I was caught off guard, and I was like, "Well, of course I'd be in your wedding. It would be an honor." And I was very surprised and very touched that he asked me, because, again, lots of brothers, and all the brothers are in the wedding, along with a couple friends. So I thought that was pretty cool. This will probably be one of the last weddings I'm ever in, outside of if my kids were to get married in the future, or maybe my brother.
Is that by choice or because all your friends are married?
Most of my friends are married at this point, and if they're not, we're just not. I don't like. Again, I don't think I'm.
You don't think it's going to happen for them. You don't have faith in their ability. I see. Yeah.
I wouldn't. They wouldn't pick me.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
They wouldn't pick me to be in their wedding, which is fine. They'd probably ask me to DJ it, which I gladly would. I've DJed.
I know for a fact if I ever get married, which I won't.
You were talking about yourself.
You're not allowed to DJ. You're not allowed anywhere near the DJ booth.
All right.
There's going to be a picture of you by the DJ. I'm going to give it to the DJ. I'm going to say, "Do not listen to this man."
What if I pick a hit that just is a major bop?
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll stop it in the middle of the song, and I'll say, "No, bad Drew."
You have every right to do that. But yeah, even if you, Rob, were, when you get married, if that's what you want to do,
I don't, but continue.
Okay. If you were to be in a situation where you were going to get married, I would not expect to stand up in your wedding. I know we're very good friends, but I also know that you have 4 brothers, and that is a hard thing to do. that is a hard thing to push your brothers.
That's insanity. I think I'm confidently I can say. You know what? That this is a difficult. Actually, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be invited. Actually,
Invited, yeah. I mean, what that saves me money in the long run, but
no. The hard thing would be the best man thing.
Sure, yeah.
Because I can tell you the short list. In terms of people that taking like California people out of the equation, because that's not. I don't think about this ever or whatever, but let's take that off the let's chop that part off.
They're great people, but they don't have the longevity.
Yeah. But it's like I think the short list has to be and my brother Michael, and really it's that is a tough decision to even get it down to 2 for a co-best man thing.
Sure, and I wouldn't expect to even stand up in it. So I'd be an usher. I'd say.
Would you serve? Would you serve the tuna?
Tuna.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be it's all going to be an iced over buffet of tuna salads and mahi and
yeah, sure.
I haven't thought about this, Drew. I haven't thought about this at all. I'm just saying, will you man the tuna bar?
Yes, the tuna bar. I will gladly. Chicken of the sea.
Yeah, it's chicken of the sea, man. It won't. Yeah, it'll be about that. Like, I just need you to open the packages of the dried tuna and dump it into the water base.
Yes,
that's how you make tuna, right?
I don't. I'm not sure, but yes, I would gladly do that for you. But yeah, it was cool that he asked. Of course, I accepted. I look forward to it.
Well, so he asked me and Mike. Mm-hmm. He called while Mike was out here.
Yeah,
my older brother, Mike.
Yep.
And he asked as if like he was like, "I got a question for you." Da da da. Like he really laid it on as if we were gonna ever say no.
Yeah.
Did he do that to you too?
I don't think so. I think he just is like, hey, I got a question for you guys. And I was like, yeah. And like when he said that, I knew what it was gonna be. And he's like, yeah, will you be my wedding? And we're like, of course, yes, absolutely.
He was like, oh, I got a question for you guys. I wanted to ask you while you were together, and like maybe Michael knows more than I do about or whatever. But the idea of even asking. Like
giving you an option,
yeah, it's like I have to assume like if that ever happened, like I would just go, you guys are in my wedding. There is no asking. There is no.
Yeah.
Oh, will you please? Would you consider? Maybe, hey, if it's not too inconvenient for you, fuck all that. No, you're in my wedding. You got to be in my wedding.
But how do you say no to that too?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, Ryan had put like when Ryan got married, he was like, I've got the short list for the best man, and I instantly said, if I'm on that list, cross off my name.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you are, and thank you, because I need to get the list down. But to me, best man, being the best man, that is, you're handing somebody a lot of work.
Yeah. I've only been,
and now there's I don't know. I was Michael's best man, and I fucked up the speech.
I
was in the. It was terrible, man. Like I was high on Adderall because I'd been up all night working. I had my opiates in me. Like I was a mess at that time. I did what I could with the bachelor party. But yeah, and now it would be different because now I don't have a drug problem. Now I'm not, like working 12-hour nights and not able to take off because I've already taken off being from. It's like I have no sick days because I was withdrawing for a week and I had to use all my sick days or what, something like that. That's probably. I don't know if that's what happened, but there's a chance. I don't know why I would have not just called in the day before Mike's wedding, or taken a vacation day. I must not have had it.
Yeah.
So it's like I got done at 6 a.m. and then like
went to a wedding,
and then like was just like kept on doing Adderall.
Yeah.
Adderall and heroin, like and like going like that's my day today.
I hear they pair well.
They're it's like a steak and a red wine, It complements one.
Yeah.
But in the aftermath, I found out it's more like garbage and a fire. They do work together. They work with each other, but only to make terrible things happen.
Yeah. I've only been the best man once, and that was for Josh's wedding, and I was not. I actually got a pretty solid night's sleep the day before. I've never had a drug problem, so I did write the speech the morning of, so I procrastinated. Procrastination.
Did you find that worked? Did that work for you?
Yeah, I got to. I think I wrote it on a pad, like on the hotel room like notepad. I wrote it on there. I had some zingers in there. Got people to laugh.
I didn't go. Yeah, I didn't go the comedic route with mine. But I got the biggest laugh when I stopped abruptly and said the word "fuck."
That's good. Into
the microphone.
Yeah.
But I did the exact opposite. I wrote my speech. I rehearsed it. I had it on note cards I bought specifically to put the speech on. And then they were like, oh, it's time to do the speeches. Let's not put any lights on. Let's just leave it.
Oh, gee.
At least that's what I remember. I could be wrong about everything that happened at that wedding.
I went to the reception.
For 24 hours.
I went to the reception. That was it, though.
Yeah. So you saw that. You saw the blunderous bullshit that I put out there.
I don't really remember. No, I didn't see your speech. I wasn't at the dinner. I was just at the reception, just for the dance.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was definitely at the dinner time.
I didn't. I don't really recall seeing you much when I was there. Maybe I did.
Yeah, I was probably off getting high, man. I'm sad to say that's who I was back then.
That's okay. Would you say that? I mean, it made you who you are right now. So is it necessarily a bad thing?
I've been thinking about that more and more lately, where it's like it's like I don't regret my life at all, but I really should. There's a lot of things I've done. There's a lot of knowing what I know now. I should regret everything because the idea of being an open and honest, happy person. That people want to be around, that tries to push away negativity and let positivity gravitate towards them. I should regret my life because I wasn't that person when I could have been. Now but is like, so I just ask, is it a justification to say, oh, I wouldn't be the person I am without that? Probably not. None of us would be anything without any kind of struggle. I'm glad for the struggle that we all should be glad for our struggles that we go through. It is what that's the hammer and chisel that molds the Michelangelo of our personalities.
Michelangelo was the artist.
Whatever, man. Don't fact check my metaphors. The David of our right.
I think David. That's right. Yeah, the Sistine Chapel.
I'm so sorry. I thought it was the legendary artist David who made the Michelangelo.
Yeah, Well, I mean, you were high. You
but yeah, it's so easy for us to say like, oh, this is what makes me who I am. But at the same time, it's like I don't know, like you're putting meaning on these things that it kind of like it gives you the ability to kind of like swing clear of the consequences.
Yeah.
By saying, well, at least if you like me now, if I like myself now, it's only because of these things. That was a whole nother battle to get to that
Yeah,
point.
it kind
So
of
I
dismisses.
don't even know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It kind of dismisses like the behavior. Yes, I did bad things, and you didn't like. It's not like you really like mistreated anybody. You did bad things to yourself. You might have done some things you're not proud of. But yeah, I could see like in the regard, it's like, somebody could be like, yeah, I did this, but I mistreated people, but now I'm on this path of whatever it is, self-acceptance and happiness or whatever, and yeah, it's a way to dismiss the behavior. So I could see how you could have a conflict with that as well. But
it's just a thought to think about, and it's like you can't change any of it.
I didn't.
That's so what does it matter is the real question on the table. Like, what does it matter to even think about those things?
Yeah,
it's just it will help moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's because I'm a bad friend. I didn't know. I didn't even know you had a problem until after the fact.
Well, that's there were people that were close to me that had their suspicions. There's people that were close to me that, it's like Michael was the one that called me out straight to my face. Eventually.
Yeah,
but I was already. What's that?
I'm still like ignorant with all that stuff because I've never really encountered it. I've never had to and I've had my concerns about friends with certain things, and I did talk to them about it when I had the opportunity, but like I'm just so like oblivious to what even that all looks like that I have no.
I'll tell you what a great cover is. Yeah. Is working third shift for years.
Yeah,
that's what a drug problem looks like. It looks like somebody who works third shift.
So I know what that's like then.
Years. Yeah,
people probably thought I was on drugs.
A lot of times, like you can go, I don't know. Rob's nodding out. Yeah, but he worked 10 hours last night. He got done at 7 this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably just tired. It's like you can dismiss a lot of traits of a drug addict to. He works third shift. It's really a crazy parallel.
Dude, I probably like towards the middle to end of my third shift living, I probably did look like I was out of my mind on drugs because, like, I mean, towards the end, the last handful of months, like especially when I bought the house, and then I found out my life was changing a lot. I was getting 3 hours of sleep a day. I'm
sure that there's some of the. I would like to, if I knew which episodes were the ones where we were like, oh, let's just drink a cup of coffee at after work or something.
Yeah.
There's no way there's any substance in those episodes, right? Where we show up and we're like, I've only slept for 6 hours in the last 3 days. What are we talking about? I don't know, man. I grabbed 15 minutes before this. God, I just want to go to bed, and that's the episode. Is just
probably
like fantasizing about a pillow.
I also was going in like battling a depression during that time too. So it's like I was a double whammy. I was the perfect subject for a person to stumble into the drug habits, but no, it's just something I've never wanted to. I just have no interest in doing.
No, and that's good. Like, because I recently had a situation where I was watching a show and it made me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
It didn't make me feel like I wanted to use again, but it made me remember the feeling of using.
Sure. Euphoria.
I don't know if you watched like that Succession show or Secession.
I've heard it's really good. I've never seen it though.
Yeah, I started watching it, and there's like a point in the first season. I don't think I'm ruining anything for anybody, but it's only like 6 episodes in. Where I'll just say one of the characters goes down a rabbit hole. One of the main characters, and he's just kind of like, oh, I think I'm ready to be like a meth head now. Or he falls so far down this hole so quickly. And I was sitting there watching it, and man, I remember, like, it literally like sparked these memories of like of using certain things and feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
And it made me like, it didn't make me like go like, oh, I want this feeling again. I didn't have that feeling. It wasn't like, oh, I could, if only I could find, or I could go out and look, or I could this. I didn't have those thoughts. It was more like, man, this is what your life used to be. And it made me really sad. And I sat in that for like that whole night for like 4 or 5 hours. I was very saddened by it. And but it's something that it's like, that was the first time that's happened in the last couple of years. So it's very interesting to me.
Yeah. And I guess at a point in somebody's time when, and again, I come from this with a ignorant view, but when you're at the point where you're using, I'm sure there is that point where you're just like, this, I am a drug addict. I'm going to use this to feel this, whether you do that.
Oh, I did it quite quickly. I remember when I was like, yep, I'm a drug addict. I remember, and it was before I went to heroin. It was before I even went to Oxycontin. I was still doing morphine. And like, I had this hookup and I was buying full prescriptions of morphine. And I just remember I wasn't even doing that much. That's the crazy thing. When I looked back on it like a year or two later, I remember going like, I like this so much that I don't think I'm going to stop. Because it makes me stop thinking badly about myself. Like I remember like in the like snorting a bunch of morphine and then being like, this makes me not question myself so much. This makes me not question things so much. I think I'm going to, it's like, and I know I'll be sick if I don't do it tomorrow. I think I'm all in. I think I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm an addict. Now at that point, I could have stopped at that day and probably had 3 bad days of feeling like I had the flu or something, and I would have been fine. But I literally talked myself into a situation where I was like, yeah, this is just what you are now.
Did you ever?
And that lasted for another 10 years after that. So it's wild. Like, it's very interesting. Like that's a weird thing to, where it's like you admit that you're an addict to yourself, and then you just kind of go like, I'm ready to be that. I'm okay with it.
Did you ever like blow your nose afterwards and there was just a bunch of like powder?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You ever sneeze like mid sniff?
I'm not, dude. If you want to know some gross ass shit, I've snorted a line, sneezed, and then ate it because you don't want to fucking. Dude, you do some fucking gross shit. Like, I'm not not proud of that. Not proud of it at all.
No.
But you just paid a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you will be sick without it. So. It's like you can taste what's where, and if that was a good decision or a bad decision, but for me, yeah, it's like and then like I remember the point when I was using where it's like I realized, I wasn't even using to get high because I was purposely trying to keep my dosages low enough to not get so fucked up so people wouldn't notice. I was using to stave off sobriety. I was afraid of sobriety. That was my thing. I think there's a few different types of addicts, and there's some that chase the high, and there's some that are afraid of sobriety. I was afraid of sobriety for sure.
Yeah,
hey, don't tell anybody about that sneezing thing. That's really embarrassing.
Well, I mean, like, so speaking of substances, how's that beer?
Fucking amazing. This is really
great.
Good.
Great. No, man, I do appreciate the honesty. I think it's good, and I think it's a more relatable thing than not, I would say, for a lot of people. But thankfully, you've been able to, and I think it's also a good sign. You watch that show and reflect on that's who I used to be, but it's not like it's good that you said that's who I used to be, and it's okay to be sad about it. But I would prefer that than that's who I need to be again, or that's what I miss.
Yeah, like that. If I would have had even an inkling of the thought of like, oh, maybe I could, maybe just once, that's when I call somebody, and go like, you got to talk me out of this. but I haven't hit that point. I've hit nowhere near that point. I don't see how I could hit that point at this point. And I'm just going to say point one more time just to say it, because I said it too many times.
No, I think, I also think you're so like, you have goals. You have things that you want to work for, I think. And you understand, like, if I do this, that means me moving out here was not, I've done doing that. And now I'm just a person using it in the state of California. I'm not here for any other reason. So I think that's good, being, having your goals, having the mindset that you've had, also with the experience and knowing what that's like. I don't know. You got good perspective. You have what, you are a writer. You're built to write. You have all these stories, all these experiences. You have a pencil and a paper. You have a somewhat functional laptop that might not be able to work to open up a Word document at the moment. So that's why you got to go to pen and paper.
The pen and paper is better, but that's the only thing this freaking computer is good for, is opening a Word document.
Can you even type else, once upon?
Yeah, once upon, and then you get like 8 lines because it has to catch up.
Yeah. Oh, no, that is what it is. No, man. This is not what I thought we would be talking about, but
No, this wasn't supposed to be the way that it went.
But that's
Mike was supposed to be on, but I knocked out at like 3:00.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I texted you cool, that was the last thing I did, and I fell asleep.
Yeah. You've been busy. You've been hanging out with your brother, doing the California shit.
We legitimately have had a full week and I worked on Saturday too, and I did a lot of physical activity there, but I got some good climbs on when we went climbing the other day. He's climbing, and I think he wants to do it too. I mean, it's an infectious thing. If anybody listening has a climbing gym by them, I'm telling you, just go do it once. Especially if you are trying to tell yourself you need to exercise, or you want to do this or do that, to be a bit more healthy. Go to a climbing gym if you have one around you, just to see how it feels, because I don't give a shit about the gym. Fuck lifting weights.
Yeah.
But the climbing gym is it's so fun and so like healthy and good for every muscle and your core balance and core strength, that it's well worth it.
Yeah. Well, Rob, we're kind of getting to that point. It's getting late here. I need to go to bed, because speaking of the gym, I have to go to it tomorrow morning at 4:30. So, can't wait. I drank Lagunitas The Waldos, the special ale, the triple IPA, highly limited release.
Highly limited release.
Highly limited. And this was only $5 for this bottle. Relatively cheap, which is ideal for a highly limited thing. It was good. I enjoyed it. I would have it again. So if you happen to stumble upon this, I would say pick it up and drink it, enjoy it. What about? So obviously we know, while we don't really have an accurate depiction of.
Yeah, I'm gonna say don't take what my first impression of the Heady Topper. I think I waited too long. I knew I waited too long. That's why I poured the other beer right into the glass for the picture. Because I was like, I figure I'm only going to get one drink of this beer. It's probably good. The Heady Topper, I've heard such great things about it from people. Like it's actually a well-known beer to get.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. I hope you have a better. Just try it sooner than I did. As for the Trustworthy Brewing Showroom Ready Hazy IPA, I really enjoyed it. The citrus and the pineapple it really had a good taste to it, and it's up front, through the middle, and on the back end. Like that pineapple, like really like kind of holds itself through, and that's a good beer. If you want something that's a little bit more on the fruitier, sweet side, like that's a good hazy.
Good. Good. Well, Rob, thanks for joining. I will
shout out again to Angela and to Michael. Thank you for bringing me beer. I have more in my fridge from Michael now and Angela. Like I have beer from both of them. They gave me a bunch of beers, so
must be nice. How often do you buy your own? I mean,
for the podcast?
Yeah, my God.
Normally I do.
Kidding.
Normally I do.
Well, yeah, normally in California.
Like Michael works at Trustworthy.
Oh, nice. He should ship me.
So like he brought that, and then Angela now works at an establishment that gets some good beer in it, and so
nice.
Both of them had I don't know I don't know why they do it. I don't know why they brought me beer. But
I've been buying you beer for a long time.
I hope it's because they like me and they think I'm an okay person.
I've been buying you beer for years, and you never show me any appreciation about it.
Yeah, but that's because I also the stipulation of you giving me a beer is that I have to drink it with you.
Oh, and that's the bad part.
I mean, however you want to hear that statement, that's up to you.
Oh, that hurts a little.
You know I love you, and I wish you were right next to me. I'd be touching your forearm, and we'd love it.
All right, we're done now.
Yeah, you got to go real quick, right?
Audio. Goodbye, everyone.